Good morning. What a beautiful day it is. What about almost falling over the plot. Good morning and welcome to the plot. So look at this. Look at the mountains today. It really does feel like spring. I brought down the mangetout. Let me show you those. They are looking grand, you know, grown indoors for about a week or so. And then I bring them over here now in the polytunnel, keep them clossed over, and they should grow on nice and slow. And also a new trug. This was quite small, but this will be very, very handy in spring. And also I picked up some rosemary from a local supermarket. Now I already got rosemary there, but I don't want to be chopping it all up. I want it to establish a bit more. So I think I'll show you how easy it is to create some cuttings for a couple of pence rather than going to the garden centre and getting some rosemary plants. So let me show you that now. So it's quite simple really. You pop some compost into the module trays, just like so. And then these are just from the supermarket. So you strip them down a bit. And then these here then, just get a scissors. You don't want it too deep. Give it a little snip underneath a nodule. So just strip them off a little bit. Pop these then. If you've got a bit of water around, perfect. But just drop it in some rooting powder or gel. And then push it into the compost like so. And do this for every single one. And you should get some more rosemary plants within a few weeks. And then the good idea about this is I think this cost about 60 pence for 12 new plants. Now, some of them might not take, but there's a good success with doing it this way. And if I don't use the plants, which a few of these might go down to the grapevine garden plot as well, but also the herb garden here, and also the herb garden at home. And any I've got left over, I'll give out to plot holders later on in the season. It smells absolutely beautiful. It's really inspired me to have a nice chicken roast this week. So I'm probably going to do that. And then give it a water. Now I'll cloth this over just for a few weeks, just to give it a little bit of warmth, and that should protect them as well. And just like that, for a few pence, you've got now 12 more plants. And that's an easy way, you know, if you're not in a rush for them, start them off now in early spring as little small stems that you've got from the supermarket, and that should save you a few bucks. You can also do this with other herbs as well. Mint is really, really easy to do as well. Mint I would put in a pot, maybe a circular pot on the outside rim, and then the roots will just bind around that pot and you'll have a nice full pot of mint in no time. So give it a go. So I've popped the mangetout in here now, and these module trays are doing really, really well. I'll give it a little water today because it's going to be warm this lunchtime. So I'm happy about this, that they're all germinating really, really well. Now they're not as much as risk to mice and rats now at this stage, but just be careful. So I probably will put a cover over for a few more, you know, a few more days, or keep it up high from them. That's why a lot of people keep them at home out the way. So just be mindful if you do plant, you know, things like seeds and peas and things like that. Mice and rats tend to like to dig down and get those out of there. The onions now are starting to pop up as well. I mean, even the red ones. So this is looking really nice. I mean, it's quite pleasing on the eye, but I've got quite a lot of things to do. It's still February, but it's 15 degrees inside the polytunnel today, so bobble hats off. Probably the coat in a minute as well, but a couple of jobs to do today. But it's such a nice day, you know, all the birds are chirping outside, the sun's out, and it just seems like one of those nice, perfect gardening days. So now is a good time as well to start off your leeks if you haven't already. I will probably do some in module trays as well as also sowing inside the polytunnel, direct in the bed, and I found that the most perfect way last year. I had pencil thick leeks that I planted out and I also gave to other people, but you know, sadly I was hit by allium leaf miner, but they were so strong and vigorous, and I had a lovely planting out. But it's just one of those things, you know, that does happen sometimes. But I'm going to do a nice row in the polytunnel sometime this week, and yeah, I'll just let them go. I just give them a little water now and again. No more faffing in pots with those. And yeah, they later on in the season then I dig them back out and replant them out in the garden in one of the beds. The wild rocket is finally showing a little bit of life. It was a poor germination, however I'm happy that we've got some coming up. Also outdoors, look at it, it doesn't take long. Once that warm weather comes, everything now is popping its head up. So I'm really, really happy. Now, if you've got shallots as well, be mindful that this might happen. So you might see that this is happening on your shallots, like so. So just take off this bit because the greenery is struggling to come out of the bulb. So just take that off a little bit like that and you're good to go. Make sure you cover them back up though. Inside the big planter that's got the banana planting, as you can see, alliums and all the tulips now are starting to show their little greenery, so spring is on its way. So I've decided I'm going to do another potato harvest today. Yes, I'm still harvesting potatoes that I actually put in the buckets in March. It was almost 12 months ago. Let's get some of those out because I'm definitely going to do a Sunday roast today. So let's get that done. Right, so let's have a look. So these are Charlotte potatoes, I believe. There you go. They're lovely looking potatoes. Now, it won't be long before all the buckets will start shooting, so ideally you do want to be harvesting these within a couple of weeks if you've got any. I don't want them all turning into new plants. This wasn't the best harvest, but I might have already been harvesting through this bucket as well, so you never know with me. Let's get another bucket. Let's have a go. I think this is an international kidney. So, look at that. That's what you like to see. Now these were planted on the 3rd of March and they're still doing okay in here. What a lovely harvest. There we have it. Look at that. A nice harvest of international kidneys and a few Charlottes as well. So definitely having these for Sunday lunch.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Good morning everyone. So rainy day, polytunnel day. I popped over today and I know I said no more raised beds for the fig and olive plot, but I lied to you because I was looking at the pictures and I counted them up and I discovered that there was 13 raised beds on this plot, and that just didn't sit with me. I'm not that superstitious, but I thought 13 raised beds, it didn't just sit right. So I bought 2 more, so we're up to 15 raised beds. They're only the small ones, you know, the small circular ones that I just think are really perfect for things like strawberries, teepees, and just nice little flower beds in between all the main growing areas. So I bought 2 more. I thought I'd put one close to the big banana plant and the other one not decided yet, but I bought quite a lot of things. I've also brought over all my new containerwise containers. These ones are the tall ones that I was talking about. So I normally like the shallow 15 ones, which I've got here. But these ones now are like double the depth. So they are perfect. These ones are perfect, absolutely perfect for like brassicas, starting them off. I've got some purple sprouting broccoli in there. I've got quite a lot of them, but I've seen these deeper ones and I just thought these would be perfect for like sweet peas, runner beans and things like that. And I just thought, why not? I've also bought some more of the shallow ones. These are a 40 cell tray and these are about just over an inch, but these are perfect and they're about 2-inch depth. So I like these ones for like salads and starting off things, even onion sets. So I've done quite a lot. And talking of the onion sets, let me show you what's happened with those. They're root hopping. Now, I've never seen this before, and it's not like they haven't got enough, you know, compost in here to go downwards. But for some reason, some of these onions, especially the white ones and the red, well, actually, they're all doing it. They're all coming out of the soil and then jumping into the next soil, you know, and I think that's just a bit cheeky that it's stealing the resources from another onion. So I don't know why it's doing that, but I've never seen it before. But yeah, look at them, cheeky. They're pushing their roots out into the next, you know, module and stealing the food from that compost as well. So cheeky. Now, maybe that's a sign that I need to take them out and, you know, pot them on already, but they shouldn't be doing that already. But yeah, for some reason, some of the roots are now going down and they're going up and coming over and then bedding themselves back in. So I've never seen that before as well, so weird. And I also brought over my chitted potatoes off Nanu and Grinch over on plot number 9. They're looking really well. These are the blue potatoes. They're a little bit wet because I was walking them in the rain, but yeah, they're chitting really well. They're all here now. I had quite a few though. I've kept 2, 4, 6. I've kept 6 because I'm going to do 3 in each bucket. So I'm going to do 2 buckets. I had a couple spare, so I donated them to Linda at the Feel Good Garden channel. So take a look at both of those channels. I'll link them in the description. So yeah, I'm keeping 6 of these. So thank you so much, Nano and Grinch, for sending me these. Can't wait to try these blue potatoes. I brought them over now because they're chitting really well, but I feel like they could deal with the lightness over here better because my kitchen isn't as bright this year, so I don't want them to start growing these big massive long shoots. You know, they're doing okay, but yeah, I don't want to tempt fate by letting them shoot off a bit too much. So all the potatoes are over here now. I need to now get those potatoes out of the bags that I've got hanging up in the polytunnel because I don't want them to start getting a bit soggy in there. They are netted, but I want to make sure that they're all out now. Even if I use some of these module trays just to separate them so they can chit really well, I'll do that today. I got loads of jobs to do, loads and loads. I also bought myself a lady in red fern for the pond area, and I also got another fern that's growing in the garden in a pot that's self-seeded, and just it's self-seeded in an old bucket and it's doing really well, so I'll bring that over as well. And I thought this looks absolutely beautiful. I'll pop a picture of it when it looks like when it's, you know, when it grows a bit bigger. But I've had this growing indoors for about a month now. And as you can see, some of the foliage is coming up. So I'm going to leave it in the polytunnel just to harden off a little bit. And then in spring, I'll plant this one up. But I am going to pot this up as well so that it gives it that little boost now in spring. But it's got lovely red stems. I just thought that looked absolutely beautiful in the pond area. Frogs and all the wildlife, I love that over there. So I'm going to plant that up a lot this year with a lot of shade loving plants. Speaking of plants, I've got a pile of seeds here that I need to sow today. Some mustards, some cauliflowers, some broccoli, and yeah, there's quite a few things. I brought some marigolds over as well, so I might do some of those. I've done some nicotiana, some people say nicotiana. I've got those. I also brought over a little bee hotel that was a Christmas gift, and it's a bit of a build your own thing, so I might try and do that today. I've got loads to do. What else I bring over? Oh, the raised beds, jobs, but they're all jobs that I keep for rainy days like this. So if you've got them, be practical with your jobs. Put them in, you know, compartments of, have I got time to do it outside or indoors? And I try and keep these all together. But yeah, everything is looking great here. All the tulips, the daffodils are all shooting up now. So I'm thinking I might put them outside. They'll benefit from the rain. I'll put them quite sheltered because, you know, they are for outside and they will benefit from that. But I wanted them to shoot out the soil first of all. You know, they've bedded their roots down now and they're doing shoots. So I was talking to the right pear plot on Instagram, and she was worried about things haven't surfaced yet. And I said, the saying I always go by is roots before shoots. So always go by that and make sure that they're all rooted down first. And that's what happens with garlic and things as well. It beds down a lot of roots. That's why we do it in October. Still got a little bit of warmth in the soil. Beds down all those roots ready for later on. And then once it gets warm, it shoots up. So let's get on with the jobs today. And I also found an old garlic bulb. I'm not quite sure what variety this is. I think it might be Cador's. And it fell down the side of the polytunnel raised bed, and I could see some greenery when I was planting in there. And yeah, they've all done shoots, so I feel like they've had a go at life. So I'm gonna pot some of these up as well in modules as well today. Now I am very late with the garlic for these, but I've already planted some obviously in October and November. But I feel like these ones might grow on. I could probably use them for green garlic, and then use them in like casseroles or in stir fries. Things like that, just the shoots and things. So they're very much, the green garlic's like a very garlicky spring onion. So I'll use them for that. Waste not, want not. Don't waste these things.
2 a.m. in the car playing our favorite song. Turn it up, windows down, we sing along. The summer night has just begun. The moon is bright, let's have some fun. Oh, this is everything with you right next to me. So alive, and tonight I'm thinking that I don't wanna go.
So as you can see, I've got an array of trays. Mainly I use module trays now. I mean, they're pretty much hard plastic ones from Containerwise, Grow Local. These are from Garland. But I also use other ones as well. Do you know what I mean? That I've bought as well over the time. I think these were suggested by Digwell Greenfingers and Muddy Boots. But then, I like to use mix and match, but they're all pretty much do the same thing. Some things you can't do, you need to use pots, but overall I'm quite happy with the arrangement I've got. And these ones are the ones I'm going to use now. They're pretty deep. They were originally intended for runner beans, but I'm sure I'll still use some of them for those. But for now, I think I'm going to put the onions in these. Now these onions over here, seedlings, are desperate. I'm not going to use all of those. A lot of them, it does look like I've got a lot, but a lot of them are spring onions and shallots as well, like the Lilia and also some white Lisbon as well. But I have got some onion seedlings here that, to be honest, should have been potted up a long time ago. So I'm going to do that now, and yeah, let's get that done. So I just got back from Linda's at the Feel Good Garden. I took some little plants down for her, some seedlings, some spring onions and bits and bobs. And then I ended up swapping with her then some parsley, some coriander and some sage for my herb garden, and also a pile of seeds and a new bobble hat. So thanks, Linda, for that. I'm always after a new bobble hat. So that's a good thing really about an allotment, is that your excess can be given to someone else and then they can give you their excess as well. So it's a bit of a swap gone on today. So I'm going to pot on a few more things now. And the good thing as well about having solar power over here as well is that if it gets a bit darker, you can pop on a light and carry on with your work. So I've got spotlights all around the polytunnel for different areas that I'm going to be, sowing or growing, or if I need to work on a particular area when it's a little bit darker. But I'm not encouraging people to garden in the dark, but just helps you with a little bit more light, especially when it's getting darker in autumn and winter. So right, let's pop these on. So I've done the onions, but they've got two choices now. They will sulk for a few days, I'm sure, and then hopefully they'll be okay. So these are still the perennial leeks. So I've left them in here. I really should pot them on now because they're starting to do a good little bit of roots here. So I'll probably pot them on as well at some point, and then pot them outside as well. So inside here I've still got a pile of red spring onions and lilia, which is like the pinky purple ones, and also the white Lisbons. So I've just taken some down to Linda. So I think what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to split them up a little bit later on and then plant them out in about, you know, 6 or 7 spring onions, and then, you know, they'll be great in the salad garden. So I think what I'm going to do is probably sow some more of the flowers, because, you know, now's the time really to start a few marigolds if you've got indoor. I'm definitely going to do some all year collie now, and also some broccoli calabrese, because you can start sowing these now from February to April. So if you want to sow something now, sow those. It's early, but it's still the right time to do them. But yeah, get a couple of those done. I've got a few more flowers here, like the marigolds, and also I've got some celery here. I think I'm going to wait on a little bit for those, but I've decided this year that I'm going to try 2 different celeries. Now, I don't normally like celery, but last year I grew it. The wind kept blowing it through the plot, and the smell, I got used to it and I started to enjoy it. So this year I'm doing Victoria F1, and I'm also doing a peppermint stick as well. So I'm looking forward to trying those. Now, there isn't many seeds of the Victoria F1, but F1s tend to have a good, you know, success with sowing and germination. So yeah, hopefully they'll be okay. So I'm excited. Let's get some more sowing done. It's that time of year now, you know, where you're getting a bit excited. You're starting seeing greenery come through your polytunnel, your greenhouse, and outside, plants, spring bulbs, and that excitement of growing things, which is not just exciting for me, but I'm sure for all gardeners. I'm Danny, and this is Grow Up.